Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
We're ready to go here at the final round-robin game at the Saville Shootout for the women. A lot of important games on the ice tonight, with just a place in the quarterfinals looming for many of these teams. So it should be a very interesting night and a very interesting game. We've got one of the more important games out here with you tonight. We've got the Gim team, Gim from Korea, playing Kaitlyn from Manitoba. Gim is sitting at 4-0 and pretty much has a playoff spot locked up from what I can tell. I don't think there's any way that she will not make the playoffs, but Cameron, on the other hand, has to win really to have a chance of making it through to the playoff round. She's 2-2 right now, so a win's certainly imperative for her. Cameron has the hammer here in the first end. Very nice first shot of the game for lead Stone. This is Mackenzie Elias, I think, or Elias, I'm not sure which, but we'll go with just Mackenzie for this one. So a great coming on by Mackenzie on the first shot of the game. So Gim will ask her lead to follow that in on the other turn, on the out turn. We sometimes have a preference one turn over the other, but we've all heard the most notable of that probably Ebert and his preference for an out turn. But they can all throw both turns, so nice shot. Cameron play that same shot. Let's see if a few rocks get stacked up here as we make our way through the end. We go 2 or 3 times around that, and then somebody will have to decide to move it around a little bit once they figure out if it's to their advantage to leave them alone or go after them a bit. Looks like lots of room here. Watching the game last night, certainly indication the ice has lots of curls, really a nice finish, and not too sure what the speed is, but it looks quick enough, and lots of curl at least from the outside. It's a little short. Looks like the Korean team will play the intern draw this time, freeze right down on top of pearl and yellow Stone. Interesting when you look at the situation here with the Asian teams. There's 3 teams from Japan have one team of 4-0 and 2 of 3-1, and this Korean team is sitting at 4-0. So certainly a pretty dominating performance by the Asian teams here in the round robin portion of this field. It was going hard. It's a little bit low, I think. Just come up short and just rub the ball. Hammer with hammer probably needs to move something a little bit here fairly soon. I was saying shot rock, but right now the option to get 2 are not very big. So well, here we go. We're going to play a peel now. Looks like maybe trying to hit it right in the middle between those 2 stones and get rid of both yellow rocks. Looks like an out plan. A little bit surprised. You could have probably swept that a little bit maybe and moved that out of the way, but they did keep theirs around on the corner, which is a nice spot for her stone, so a good shot. A busy few days here at Saville Shootout with 20 men's teams and 20 women's teams participating. And a lot of the best in the world are here this week, and been a pretty exciting event thus far. One more day to go after this. We get the engine coming, and actually it's a left-hander in this case, so it'll be the out turn for her. Right in on top of her other stone. She needs to get a little bit more curl here, but it looks pretty good. It's certainly going to be a challenge to move that middle yellow one. Having said that, if I don't make a good shot here, maybe hit and roll in behind those guards as she taps, so you can see her tapping here to play that little hit and roll, we would be sitting with number 1, number 3, number 4. Pretty good position here in the first hand, early goings. Playing this with looks like kind of a down weight, probably a board weight or somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe a touch over board, but not very big weight. Sweeper's indicating it might be up a little bit. That's pretty good from here. Could be real good. I left it right in the hole there, if there's a hole. Or probably hit that a hair thinner and roll it over a little bit further. Maybe a touch better. But
late in this
Green squad's looking to go through the hole, just trying to decide on which corner to throw.
I was able to watch the action unfolding here. I've seen it, you just haven't been able to hear me.
Another massive hole, big enough to get through there.
We've got a big matchup here. Coming into this draw,
conversation about which way they're going.
Total that are either 4-0 or 3-1. There are 8 teams that go through to the playoffs tomorrow.
Switching over here to what would be the counterclockwise rotation. Would be a right-handed player, so the out turn for her.
And they are playing each other here. So one of them has to fall to 2 losses. And that means
this would be
Suji Kim for
third stone for the Kim team.
Too many combinations for us to figure out. But makes this a must-win game for both of these teams. I don't know how their draw to the button distance.
Get through the hole.
It'd stack up against the other teams if they had to go to a tiebreaker.
Nice shot through that, lots of weight.
This is the last game of the round robin, so before the game they had the practice session and then draw to the button.
Interesting though, for the whole end it looked like Cameron was maybe in a little bit of not really trouble, but the options of scoring more than 1 point were
in the playoffs.
Not real good.
Typically, and I'm not privy to the playoff format here, but
in a position to perhaps
matches what I've seen
for a good shot here.
Typically, if you're a clearly higher seeded team,
sit 2 or 3.
You don't have to draw for the button for the hammer. You'll get hammer automatically.
Just lost my video here for a second.
Plett team throwing the Yellowstones as last rock here in this first end of play, but it's Kaitlyn Laws right now sitting 2.
No, I don't know if you guys missed it or it was just on my
just open, so
laptop that I missed it, but there was I did miss it, but certainly the camera team didn't miss it. They made a really good shot to sit 3 now, I believe. Two for sure, maybe 3. Most of which are behind the guards. So
the 9 o'clock position.
guards.
The third is Alyssa Nedowin.
Yeah, another good shot by the Korean team this time with moving off
the
around
run
a lot,
over the top
getting rid of a
of the 8
couple,
foot.
so that's a good, much better situation than
also
she had, although
crashing
still has a
into
chance to sit
getting yellow into the
set 3
rings, but
here.
it
So
does
it's
sit
a turnaround
third
in this
for
end,
now.
and just a very few number of shots.
Middle is open, nothing better than just fighting the 8 foot.
One thing about the game, when you do get a lot of rocks in play, and everybody now is so talented that it just if you just have a half a miss somewhere, then it can put you in a heap of trouble. So good opportunity now in this end for Cameron to score multiple
Kaitlyn
points.
Laws with her first stone, looking to come around the 2 corner guards.
Just to curl a bit, I think. It looks like she maybe just throw it a little bit straight. It's coming up okay. It's a good shot. Taylor Donald playing third for the Cameron team. I think the Korean 2 girls have to try to make the double here, and it might set up to make the triple or at least the double and roll behind the guards, maybe. Either way, think double first. If you can make the double here, that would be a good shot. You can hold the shooter back in there, even better. There's the front end tidying up the slide path.
Kaitlyn Laws with her first stone here in the opening end of play.
Sometimes you get guilty and the front ends get a little bit guilty. Sometimes with just watching and thinking and not doing that sort of thing, but these girls are on top of it. So there's an out-turn hit.
Lots of room.
Probably hit about 2/3 of the stone.
Line.
Maybe a touch less than 2/3 of the stone. Angie Kim rather very solid player.
Slide to the back wall. Does hang on for third shot.
Yeah. Not a great result. Moving off, but she's now still looking at 3, and Cameron could make this very difficult for us. Not sure if they're playing the intern around the high red one or if they're playing the
sliding
outturn
that deep does give
around the yellow
Plett
one.
a chance to come around herself, see if she can get something in front of the T line behind those corner guards. Still has a chance to pick up the juice here.
But might be. Might be a little less trouble away from this man.
I apologize again. I understand we're still having some technical difficulties. I believe we've got audio for 2 different games on.
She's setting up to show the turn. So if she is showing another turn, she'd like to be probably just on the T line or just above the T line would be fine. And probably 2/3 or 3/4 buried would be perfect. First end shouldn't be a problem. We did have practice before the game, so we can just have a practice session to kind of help you with these first end shots. Just sneaks that one by. That's really, really good, I think.
Pressure's indicating this might be a little bit
interesting
warm.
ball here for the Koreans.
Still got a lot
Come
of room
around
now.
that
They're
guard, one of those guys.
trying to line it up to come to the back
line.
line.
This
This
was a
is
steal
really
one, or
strong.
do you just minimize the damage and
Gets
maybe
right
try
to the
to play
face of that back one. She could be shot rock.
Right on the outside,
This
roll
has got way
behind the
too good a
guards,
house to
maybe?
not get a piece of that back one at all. Kaitlyn Laws
Maybe the
continues to
first
sit
hand,
3.
I think that might
Another
be
chance to get something
a
in
little
the
bit
house somewhere.
leaning towards playing some kind of a hit.
Whether it's
Or
behind cover.
not really any
that's
doubles
the one
there.
That same shot that Selena is looking at.
But again, same thing. We
You
just
think
said
about
teams
getting
do
rocked
practice.
before,
Which is a
just
really good idea. On
fighting the 8 foot.
what the weight looks or feels
How
like.
does she get in right now? She might have to play an in-off.
Seems leaning towards a draw. Make a really good shot here. You could kind of take the big end away for sure and force Cameron just to maybe even draw for one. Still don't know where she's going. She's got the same ice, or initially put down the same ice that the Manitoba girl said had going on the out turn, but I think she's going on the in turn. And looking that way, but taking basically pretty much the same boom position as the
Kaitlyn lost without last stone here in the first end. Sitting 3.
Joyce to me, but we haven't really seen much yet.
And a 4th one in, and perhaps take away the
Bears
drop
are pretty
pass.
high when you look at
Myla Plett.
the high shot. Here it goes, anyways. Has to make a dandy here to prevent dropping a multiple score end there on the first end.
Pressure's going to want to put this just fighting the top of the 8 foot, slide all the way into the 8. May leave a rock that she can
Pretty
nose
hard.
it. Picked up the brush right away.
Not gonna get there.
Still get in the way of the drop out.
Big miss in the first end for Team Win. Pretty well knew that was short right out of her hand, you know.
We're
Front
going
end
to
just
go a little less than
right
that.
away
We're going to be
from
that
that
hard.
hard.
It does make her go just a little bit wider to make the draw. Myla Plett
have to fight their way back here from 3 or 4. So
needs full 8 foot to pick up the single here.
shouldn't have too much trouble with this one. She's just throwing the same shot she just threw. Might like to see her take 3 or 4 inches of ice, but it's just maybe a little bit safer. The first one really cut pretty hard on the out turn. Pretty close to the low.
Both of these teams at 3-1 as we enter play tonight, and
This one's on its way.
will guarantee
This
themselves
one.
a spot through to the playoffs. Tomorrow morning,
a little
they
bit.
may have to rely on tiebreakers.
Making sure it doesn't take off on her.
Myla Plett
And she's
drawing against 3 here in the opening end
big
of play.
4 in the first end for Team Cameron against
Heavy on her first one.
Kim rather. And
Better here.
yeah, going to be a long way back now after that. Just really interesting how halfway through they looked like it was going to be maybe a challenge scoring.
Pressure's had the firm clean on all the way down. They will bring it into the corner of the 4 foot.
So after one end of play,
Myla
Cameron
Plett
4,
picks up the
Win
point here in
nothing.
the opening end of
Here
play.
at the Saville Shootout.
Kaitlyn Laws with the last drop in a second.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, we got it. Yellow.
Come on. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one little, please.
You make moments like these possible.
We're back. First spot in the first end for Team Cameron. And the good news about that is it was the first end. I mean, we have a lot of ends to go, so That's one thing. You drop a 4
Second
and
end
6
underway here.
something,
First stone
it's
brought
a
into
lot
the
more of a
4 foot.
challenge. So it's he'll work pretty hard here, try to score a couple. It'll take him a few hands to get back in it, but if he can score 2 and give up 1, score 2 again, maybe then they're only just down 1 point and right back in the game. We see Cameron in the house in the first half.
Early, Ali Iski
set up the corner guard.
exchange that
And
stone.
now
Second
King
for the
Cameron with throw and right on top of the line in the house, I believe.
Alyssa Nettowit in third.
Very close.
Skip. Wants to hit it. Stay pretty much right there.
It was a bit of a challenge for me. I mean, nothing. I'm always going to turn down 4 in the first end, but sometimes it becomes a little bit of a challenge as to, well, what do we do now? Do we try to go right into defense because that's a big lead, obviously, but
center line.
or do we keep
Higher up in the
trying
rings.
to pile on a little bit here?
Kristen McEwish being
Use
asked
their
to throw the
feeling,
corner guard.
use their sense of the game. It's always interesting to see how that happens.
So they
what
brush
happens
down.
with
That's
that
the
as we
third.
move on.
Only
So,
negative.
right, she goes right down on top of the line and give him a leading guard and go around the corner guard.
Nothing out of the brushers. Just wants to stop out in front of the ring.
If this was 2 anxiety, you might see him throw up another corner guard.
Will slide into the 12 foot, even drop light to the 8.
I can go on this one a little bit, I think, too. And should be right behind the guard. That's a nice shot. And one more time for Team Cameron. This time they're looking to be a little bit short of the house. Maybe, 2 feet, 3 feet.
Looking for the nose hit. This is a long ways out. She's going to get a piece. Catches a piece of it. Enough to pass it through the back of the rings and all the way out of play, but it's just the 1 stone in the rings and another chance for this time Jocelyn Peterman to throw the corner guard.
I'm going to get this one over there. That's a good shot. So really 5 perfect shots so far on this end. We're not gonna let this get too convoluted here in the second hand. We're gonna play that here in the front one. I would imagine try to roll towards their own, like on that side of the sheet, just to not take any chances, but.
Corner guard is up. Now Myla Plett will ask Betty to come around.
That's pretty good.
Sit 2 for the time being. Trying to get the force back. This is a steal situation. Shots.
Cameron will switch it up a little bit. You couldn't really do much with that. There's first few rocks with the rules the way they are. You really can't do too much with them sometimes. So now she's got a chance to get rid of the corner guard. And she will do that. Still really early in this end, though. We're only like on the 4th stone at the end, so lots of times for both teams. Really
Just a little bit short of the rings, and that leaves a double corner guard. Opportunity now for Jocelyn Peterman to come around.
So looks okay.
They may be able to set up a loose here in this second half.
I think she was trying to hang around there. She could have, I guess, tried to put it in there and go in front of her own, maybe, but I don't really think there's a big need for that yet. So, Team Korea, Team Gim will now throw the same guard and try to replace that corner guard. Stone's in pretty good position there. It's not the easiest rock to get rid of and saving a shooter and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be
inside pressure on, trying to make sure they can get it by the guard. This is really curling. Going for weight as well.
On this one. Need to get another foot of curl out of this time, huh?
Just rubs the guard on the way by. A little bit light. Stops short of the rings.
Pretty darn good effort. They don't have the luxury of having a whole bunch of extra body weight to help them on that. They have to get it all with as much strength as they can muster up and keep the speed up on the sweeping and try to really get as much out of pretty small frame bodies. Really, it's nice to be a little bit bigger sometimes when you're running around that brush, but they did a heck of a job. Play same shot, I think. Cameron will be playing the same shot. She's half of that. She could go after that, but I'll get her peel the front one. Let's play the straight peel. I'll go down and have a little chat about it. Just getting underway for almost all these teams. I mean, this was probably a few teams maybe that played once already this year, and there's a couple teams I think that probably went to Europe as well, but not many. Most of them will be just getting going, I think. On the East Coast down here, and we haven't had any curling clubs yet that are open, but we have some that are really close. Going after this one, so I didn't think she would do that. I thought she'd just get rid of that guard and clear herself into anything that could be a little bit messy. But she can probably see at least half of it. On the sweeping on early. And off. I might have jumped it a little bit early. He looks okay. That's a good shot. If she gets it out. Yeah, good shot. A lot of rocks left to come now. Things will come around that guard at some corner guard, I think. They're talking a little bit about it here, but we can go around that corner guard, get shot. That's what she's going to play. I suggest this one's going to curl a lot because last time we were going the other way, so. Must be a little warm. Just going to hang around there. Doesn't look like it. A big miss. I mean, misses are always a big miss to go for, but sometimes bigger than others, and that one doesn't really help you a lot for sure. It kind of hurts. It would hurt if the red one wasn't there, but with the red one there already, it's could make it a challenge scoring here. Or at least scoring two. I'm still going to play the out-turn come around. I think they're coming right around now. I think she's indicating a little bit that Cailey might have been a little bit wide. So I'll put her left arm out to indicate it was out there a ways. It's looking pretty good though. Nicely done. Really good shots this end by the Cameron team. In some trouble here. Need a big shot from her third. Her third's last one. the line looks really good from here, at least. Just kind of for the bounce off it at all. She will bounce out a little bit. Maybe just enough really to allow Rink to get at that. I was really close to being a real dandy. Just I'm going to take 3 feet off of that, probably 2 feet off of that for weight. And it probably curls in and sits and might even be shot rocket. Would have been good, but would have and could have and should have, and all that doesn't usually work too well. So gonna have to make a play on this, I think. And actually, she can make a play on this and just flop a little bit. It's a tough shot, but certainly makeable. And she could be put the greens in a whirl with her here early in this game. She wants to play it. It's one of those that you sometimes do a little bit of negative stuff in your head. You kind of got to throw that away and recognize that this is really not a hard curling shot. So you just got to focus on it. Look at the weight you're trying to throw on the ice, and just go ahead and make it. I'm not expecting this to be a whole lot of weight. I'm expecting something in the neighborhood of probably hack the board for weight, somewhere around there. Maybe a touch more, but not very much, I don't think. Might be a little bit out. And move. Grab over there a little bit. She's probably going to take a run. She's probably going to get rid of those. Yeah. That'll actually work okay. I think it's it's certainly not exactly what you're doing, but you're sitting through still. And there's no double option there for the Koreans. And I think that I think she should be fairly happy with that one. It did seem a little bit uncomfortable with throwing it, so but she threw it up. Might have been just a hair heavier than they thought, but it's not a surprise either. Really, it's looking at it and knowing you don't want to do anything crazy. Just give it just a little extra to hold it out there. Well, again, trying to do the same thing. This one's going to curl a bit, I think. She might have underthrown it a little bit. Girls are going hard, but she might have got a little bit fortunate, although that guard's a long ways out there. Certainly rolled further than she was trying to roll, but she is shot rock, and she is kind of behind the guard, but like I said, that guard is a long ways out. So she just has to make this go away. Just throw enough weight to make sure you get by the rock and the guard rather, and stay there and force the Koreans to make a shot for one. Couldn't ask for any more, really, if you're the Cameron team.
Okay, let's try this again. I think we might have all the technical difficulties corrected now. Shawn, Joyce with you here live. Kaitlyn Laws with her final stone here in the second end of play. Looking for the double. Needs the slash, makes the hit, comes across, catches the second stone, and will spill it far enough back. She'll pick up her single point at the top of the 8-foot. After 2 ends of play, Kaitlyn Laws, Myla Plett, all tied up at 1. It'll be Plett with last rock in the third.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome back to the Saville Shootout, third end here. Apologies for the technical difficulties we've had with our audio, or my audio in particular. We had 2 feeds coming over top of this game for the first couple of ends, but I think we've got that sorted out now. My name is Shawn Joyce, featuring the game here between Kaitlyn Laws and Myla Plett. I'd explained this earlier, but with the audio trouble, not sure everybody was able to hear me, so we'll go through this again. The scenario is we come into this final round robin draw for the women. There are 8 teams, either undefeated or 3-1 as we come into play tonight. If all of those teams were to win, those would be the 8 teams that would go through to the playoffs. However, 2 of those teams, Kaitlyn Laws and Myla Plett, are 2 of the 3-1 teams. And when they're playing against each other, that means somebody has to fall to 2 losses. And that means there could be some tiebreaker scenarios in play after this draw. Both of these teams would like to secure the win tonight and make sure they don't have to rely on those tiebreaker scenarios. The Plett team had the hammer in the first end. We've had 2 forced singles, and now Plett with last rock as we begin play here again in the third. First stone just biting the top of the 12-foot. The corner guard thrown up and now looking for the come around. It'll come around, but it's a long ways back there. Decision here for Plett. You can play the hit on the red. You might get the double at the back. If you try to roll to the corner, you might be on the rings. If you hit it right on the nose, you're still in the free guard zone. The problem there is you're also on the center line. I can see you're discussing all the options. I'm not sure which they've settled on. I would think maybe a broomside roll when they're taking this ice. Well, nothing out of the brushers. Looks like they're content to hit it close to the nose. They will roll it in for a bite. Top of the 12. Hard to say who's shot right now. Probably not going to matter in a few seconds. Jocelyn Peterman with the hit. Rolls all the way across behind the corner guard and just a small piece out into the open. Pretty good shot. The guard does belong to Myla Plett. Could play the run back. The first indication is she likes the draw. Chloe Fediuk, the second. The in-turn draw attempt. Brusher's staying close to this one, but they're waiting for it to curl. Should start to go now. Boy, does it ever. Comes to rest full 12 foot. Second shot, but it's got a nice angle towards that red shot stone. Tough for Kaitlyn Laws to go at it with any kind of weight. She's looking at whether or not she can guard it or corner freeze to it, perhaps. So indicating like back 4 weight here. So I'm thinking maybe touch the yellow, move it back. You might chip it off the side of the red, pop it out into the open. No, this might be, she might be playing the straight come around on it. Or they might be playing that because this might be just a little stronger than what they had in mind. Well, the weight doesn't look bad. Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't curl more than that. You would have thought with that ice, she should at least get a piece underneath the yellow one. Left room for Fediuk to roll under, but this has got a curl. It's the red, drives it back, just by the stone at the back of the 12-foot. Shooter rolls over. It is shot rock now. Selena Negovit with a chance to make a hit and roll over across behind the really 3 rocks over on the corner now. 1 out of the rings, 2 in the rings. But they can all be used as guards if you roll to the right spot. Makes the hit, maybe a little thin. Roll past the guards, through the rings, and just hangs on in play, but well off the back of the rings. Chance now to use that yellow stone. Saw the call. Just the angle slash onto the red. Have the shooter roll across. I wouldn't think they'd be throwing this with really big weight. Could make it with bumper. Brushes were down early. Once they hit this fairly thin, they're going to have to go to get by the guard. Not going to get by. Now, where does the shooter end up? Good awareness on the brusher's part to stay with it. And I can't tell from this angle whether it might have spun on at the end or not. Regardless, for now, Selena Negavan will make a play on the second shot stone at the top of the 12-foot. She'll need to roll a little bit broomside just to make sure she passes it by the one at the back of the 12-foot. Well, this is going to roll a lot broomside. You can see on the overhead view in the corner, you can see a little bit of white there. It's always tough to tell when we're looking at the overhead because it's from the pinhole and we need to look over top of the rock, but that looks like a thick enough piece of white that that Yellowstone is probably out of the rings. So you might want to make the double here just to keep the blank alive. Well, this is over-curled the double, I believe. She'll make the hit. It does drive it by the stone in the back. It is the Plett stone at the top of the ring, sitting shot rock, but a chance now for Kaitlyn Laws to play the hit, roll across to the other side of the sheet, and that might make any attempt at the blank very difficult. Kaitlyn Laws with her first here in the third end of play. Tie game. Don't necessarily want to call it a must-win game for both teams, but it might be. Makes the hit. Catches the stone that's just out of play at the back, but rolls it harmlessly out of play and rolls her shooter across to the other side. Myla Plett, one chance here to perhaps get back into a blank situation. You play the slash double. No reason really not to play it if you just hit this, even if you hit and roll in front of the red. There's so much separation between the two of them. Kaitlyn Laws would have a chance to play the same shot, hit and roll to the open side, and then you'd be forced to take your single. You can make the double here. You might have a chance to get away with the blank. Keep last rock into the fourth end. As I was just saying, I don't know for sure it's a must win. The two teams really have to treat it like that. They both come into this game with a record of 3-1. You know, if you win, you're in the playoffs. If you lose, there's a tiebreaker scenario. Now, these teams might know what the tiebreaker scenario looks like already. I don't have that information. If you're the best team in the draw to the button, maybe you're okay with that, but they would more likely know that than I do. draw to the button tiebreakers became a factor in the men's too, and I still haven't heard who secured the last spot. Well, looking for the slash double, just touches it on the way by. She had a similar type of miss earlier in the game. Gives Kaitlyn Laws a chance to put a stone in a spot where she might be able to make even the shot for one a little trickier. Try to take away the in-turn draw path, give a little bit of protection on the stone that she's got sitting shot in the 8-foot now. It was the in-turn draw she threw with her final stone in the first to get the single point. Out-turn's going to be available. Looking to bring this into the 8-foot, but they want it to stop. That might be just good enough. I'm not sure that a nose hit on either stone gets shot rock. Certainly not the one that was just delivered, but if she nose hits the other one, I don't know if she's shot rock. She's got to get to the inside then. There's room to do that. I thought we might see her draw here. Big shot for Myla Plett with her final stone here at end number 3. Tie game, but facing 3 Laws counters, and I think she has to get just a sliver to the inside. Roll in to pick up her single. A nose hit could be a steal of one. They're on the brush on this one early. She might have been a little full on her first one. Did she overcorrect here? Boy, great job by the brushers to hold the line. She makes the hit, does roll in just enough to get her single point. Myla Plett with a 2-1 lead after 3 ends of play. It'll be Kaitlyn Laws with last rock in the 4th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
First stone of the 4th end, brought into the back 8-foot. Kaitlyn Laws will ask lead Kristen McEwish to throw the corner guard now. There have been a few struggles early in this game from both teams, really, with the draw weight. Uncharacteristic, you'd have to say, for teams of this caliber. The Plett team is a young team, but a very solid team. Playing well this weekend, 3-1. They actually played in the U25 Classic here at the Saville Center last weekend as well and lost the final, so they're off to a good start for their season. This, I believe, also their home club. Looking for some input from the other end. I don't know that she got much, so makes a decision on her own. She asked whether they'd rather come to the top 4-foot or go around the corner guard. They didn't look like they were going all the way around, just enough to choke it off. She didn't get a firm from the other end, so they're going to play the skip's choice, which is to come to the top of the 4-foot. And the draw weight struggles continue, and it's not that anybody's been a long ways off, but deep to start the end. That corner guard is probably a little higher than they would have liked. The guard that was just thrown was supposed to be in the rings. Tap in the heels, usually half weight for most teams, I think. And this is a situation where the position of that yellow guard makes a difference because it's not touching the center line. So it is not in the no-tick zone. It is a free guard, but you can move it. If it was touching the center line, she couldn't move it off the line at all. So you can be a little bit more aggressive with the quiet weight on a shot like this. If you touch the guard on the way by and move it into the rings, that is fine. Comes to the back stone, just passes it through the rings and out of play. Shooter stays fully open, back 8-foot. Chloe Fediak being asked to come around and bury one top 4-foot. Going to ignore that backstone altogether for now. Comes to rest at the tee line. Just a sliver under the guard. They can go after it directly. There was also some discussion about playing the guard over the top. Of course, the guard is arguably the rock that's hurting you more. If you could get to this and get to the inside, though, that guard actually helps you. Kaitlyn going back to her first thought was to play the guard over the top of the shot stone. Roll your shooter to the corner. Makes the hit. Catches the stone at the edge of the 8. A bit of a bad break in that it angled back towards the red stone, so it does stay in the rings. The yellow stone belonging to Myla Plett is shot. Does mean there's 2 corner guards over on the left-hand side of the sheet as the throwers are looking at it. Plett looking to come around. See, again, when you're coming around the other team's corner guard, she's not really trying to bury this at the tee line. She's just trying to choke off the guard. If you get full 8, full 8 would be enough to sit 2. Hoping this one stops now. And it will not cooperate with them. It slides just at the back edge of the tee line and it's behind the corner guard. So now if Selena Negavan can, we have third stones? No, it's Jocelyn still throwing. If she can sit down on the face of it, she could be shot rock guarded. Got great line if they can get it there. It's going to be just a little bit short, so it is still Plett sitting 2. That redstone in a pretty good position as far as the angles for Kaitlyn Laws. Tough for Myla Plett to do anything with it. So can't really do anything with that rock and doesn't want to leave it for Kaitlyn Laws. So her first thought is maybe we guard it. Third Alyssa Nedowin making her way down. She'd like to take a look at these angles. I understand the hesitation from the throwers. You're guarding your opposition stone on the corner when you don't have last rock, but it's a dangerous stone and it's hard to do anything with it besides guard it, just so that they can't use it. Yes, Selena is going to try to come around everything, but you kind of have to leave that for her right now. Rushers standing back. They just need this to stop now before it over curls. I think that does the job. So Selena being asked to come as tight by that redstone on the top of the 8 foot as she can, bite the 4. Get shot rock, and of course, you'd like to leave it with a bit of an angle. If you're going to bring those other 2 reds back in, you need something that you can slash onto the yellow that's buried. So she won't want to be at the tee line here. Up a little higher if you could. Brushers just cleaning. They'll wait for a line call here. Got to go a little bit for line now. It's getting awfully close to the red stone. They're by. Does come to rest. Shot rock right at the tee line. And probably a good third behind cover. Maybe a little deeper than they would have liked. Hard to slash that. Alyssa Nettowin looking to follow it down, sit on the corner. Nothing out of the Brushers, and maybe an indication this will warm as well. I think I saw the hands go up. Comes across. It will nudge that stone a little bit, but where that comes to rest, there might be a triple on the yellows if she wants to play it right now. You hit the yellow that was just thrown, come into the side of the red, kick it over into the yellow. Certainly you could get two yellows to go away. You might jam the first one, but it would still be in the open. You don't have to throw real big weight at this either. As you're coming straight sideways, that Yellowstone only has to move maybe a foot to bring the red at the top of the 8 foot and red at the back of the 8 foot into play. You can throw big weight if that's what they're seeing. Again, no mics on the players here. I'm sure that's what they're playing. I think all the discussion here is about the weight they want to play. No, they're going to call timeout, I think. So the coach is on the way out. Coach for the lost team, if I remember correctly, is Connor Negavan. To make the shot that I've been discussing, you've got to hit that first yellow as thin as you can, and the red's in the way a little bit, but you do have to hit the yellow first, so you go into the side of that red. That is what they're going to play. And I still think most of the discussion there must have been about how much weight they want to play. If you think that back one's going to jam anyway, you don't have to whip it. It doesn't look like she's got the ice for. Well, it's probably not peel, but it's not a board waiter either. Just probably a nice normal. I don't know if the back one comes across the stone at the back 8 foot enough to make the triple, or if it'll just jam. Either way, it's going to be out in the open at the worst. This is your chance to get rid of that buried yellow. Well, she's got some speed coming. They're on the brush right away. This is over curled what they had in mind. Drives one yellow onto the other, comes across and moves the red. Law's sitting 2, though. Plett looking at her options. You make the nose hit. You're probably shot rock if you make the nose hit. You could roll over just a little bit on top of the red, but there's the chance you're not shot when you do that. You're kind of rolling out of the 4-foot when you do that. It does shrink the house considerably, though. Everybody on the Plett team in the house, when you look at the angles. Just trying to decide on my own. I don't think they would play it. I don't think they'd even consider it. Trying to decide if there might be room to come across the face of the red and catch it thin enough to make the double on the 2 reds. You know, if you needed to play it, it might be there, but it's awfully risky. If you ever rub that red at the top of the 8-foot, you might not get anything here. Ideally, I think she's looking to just hit the red stone behind the broom and roll for a couple of inches, maybe get a corner in front of that red one. She can't roll much farther than that or she won't be shot rock. Late here, but this is starting to curl. She makes the hit. Comes across, will just touch the top of that stone, but rolls far enough that it is still the Law's stone sitting shot rock. Kaitlyn Law's looking at corner freezing onto the stone that was just thrown. This would give her a chance for 3 if she could lock it on the corner. Just such a small space for error here, though. If she bounces off at all, it might leave a double on the reds. If she's at all short, she won't be second shot. This rock won't help her. If she under curls, she'd leave a double on the reds. So a lot of things in play here. The communication will have to be good on this rock all the way down. We've seen all weekend long the movement is big and late. Just cleaning early. Here's where it should start to curl. There goes. The line's looking pretty good. By their own, they'd like to curl just a little bit more. Actually under curled a little bit. There's room for Myla Plett to play the double on the reds. She could sit as many as 4. She makes the nose hit. She would force Kaitlyn Laws to have to play the wide out turn draw, and she would need 4-foot for the single. I'm not sure what all the discussion is about here. It's one thing if you just want to discuss how much weight you want to throw, but that doesn't look like that's what they're discussing. It kind of looks like they're wondering if the angles are right. And again, you have to defer at times to the players on the ice because we sometimes get a distorted view from the overhead cameras. But from the overhead, it looks like it's a nose hit, kills both reds, and you'd be sitting at least 3. It might touch the 1 yellow on the way by. I'm not sure why she's angling that red that way. She needs to hit it on the nose. Well, they've lined it up. Looking at where the broom is, this is going to have some weight on it. Myla Plett with her final stone here in the 4th inning. She leads by 1. If she can make the double, may be able to force Kaitlyn Laws to draw against 4 here. They're on the brush right away. This did not look like a lot of ice. She's going to rubble the stone at the top of the 8-foot. Does at least take one of the red stones out, but Kaitlyn Laws sitting 1 will have the chance to draw for 2 here. Or pardon me, draw to sit 2. Yes, this is the last draw. Kaitlyn Laws with her final stone needs full 4-foot, electing to throw the same path she just threw. Brusher's cleaning again. Might have been a little bit positive on the release. I don't think this is going to get to her first stone. Line looks nice, still cleaning. Needs full 4-foot to pick up 2. Does bring it into the top of the 4. Kaitlyn Laws picks up 2 points here in the 4th end. She'll take a 3-2 lead into the 5th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Fourth and break still underway here in our match between Laws and Plett. 20 teams began play here 2 days ago. There's still 13 teams alive as we enter the final draw of the round robin. It'll be another hour and a half before we find out, perhaps, who all of the 8 playoff teams are, and we'll see all of them back on the ice at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning for Championship Monday. Must-win game, really, for the two teams here in this matchup that we're watching right now. These two teams came in with a record of 3-1. There are 2 teams on the ice tonight that started tonight at 4. 6 teams at records of 3-1, including these 2. And then there's 5 more teams sitting at 2-2. Now they know somebody's coming back to 2-2. They've got to win their own games. So there might be some scoreboard watching on the other sheets. Certainly for those of you at home, the opportunity to scoreboard watch and game watch is you've got access to all of the games here on the Curling Stadium Edmonton. It's a little simpler for these two teams. They just know win and we're in. If you lose, then you're looking around. A big 2 points for Kaitlyn Laws going into the break. She now has a 3-2 lead as we begin play in the 5th. Kristen McEwish is the lead for the Law team. Looking for the tight center here. The Plett lead is Ali Iskew being asked to make the come around to the top of the 8-foot, dead in behind. Gets it about half buried. Kristen looking to come around from the other side now, sit on the corner of that stone behind cover. Sits it down right on the corner. Plett asking you to come down again. Same shot she played really on her first one. This time to sit on the corner of the head. For both teams, this is all about trying to set up the angles in the house. This is really curling hard. By the front one. But it's going to come up just a little bit short of the rings. Kaitlyn's first thought, play another come around corner freeze, this time on our own stone to line the red, yellow up. Looked at coming around everything. I think it's Jocelyn Peterman likes the idea of playing the out turn corner freeze and have that have angles on that yellow stone for both sides. That's what they're going with. Thrower's choice, I guess. Well, this is looking strong, so now they're staying close on the brush, thinking they got to get by that yellow, maybe go right around everything. And looking for some curl because this is going to be deep and open. Comes to rest. Back 8 foot. I think it's the one at the back 8 foot that would be second shot. But shot rock continues to be the Plett stone at the top of the 8. This is the 6th rock of the end. She would have the option to start cleaning up the guards. Does have shot rock, and if she can get in there first, be in a solid position here. This is Chloe Fedia looking for the in-turn draw, come around those stones at the top of the 8 foot. Get about half around, and there's still a jam at the back too. You don't have to be dead buried here. Line looks really good. Brings that into the top corner of the 4 foot. Plett sits too, and hard to make a play on either one of them. Can't see a lot of that one. You could see more of the other one, but there's the risk of jamming it at the back. Kaitlyn looking at the either or. Get what you could see of that yellow stone, the second shot stone. You might be able to make the double. The miss is you got to clip the yellow guard. You can't go by everything. She's close. Catches the yellow, dead, jams it into the second one. A bit of a bad break there. I think they were hoping it would at least spill out in the open. Still all to play in the middle. The people that have seen me do games in Saskatchewan over the last 12 years, one thing they know is that I'm never a big fan of throwing a guard near the center line when you've got last rock. They looked at corner freezing the red from the out turn side, the red at the top of the 8 foot. I don't mind that call. She's going to hit the one in the back 12, though. Sit 2. Makes the hit, does stay right there. Probably a little too dangerous at this point in the end for Kaitlyn Laws to ignore that stone. You hit it, you won't be shot rock, but you hate to leave opposition counters in there when they've got last rock. Makes the hit. Will roll across under cover. Continues to be Plett sitting shot rock, top of the 4 foot. Stone that just rolled over the back of the 4 foot is second. Precise draw, but a good chance here for the Plett team if she can get just to the corner of the button. Needs to be past her own stone. And at least edge to edge with it. Then there's the potential jam on the red at the back 4 foot. It makes it a tough rock to remove. Line is close. Looks like it might be a little strong, though. Comes down, touches the red stone, and shooter spins away. It stays for third. Elena Negevin will now attempt to corner freeze the shot stone. Line is definitely tighter on this stone. Comes down, sits just on the corner of it. Excellent shot by Selena Negevin. It is Plett sitting 1, but there's a way to get it out now. Second and third belonging to Kaitlyn Laws. I think the call here is to come down to the face of that red stone, and you need to jiggle it just enough to break up the freeze. Like to keep your yellow stone, the one that you're about to deliver, in front of the red stone. It might line up a double on the 2 reds. It's got a lot more room than Selena's rock did. Sweeping for some curl now. Going to make contact with the red, pushes the yellow over, but leaves the yellow-red combination on an angle that's coming into shot rock. If she wants to play it, she has to play it as a bit of a slash. She won't be able to keep her shooter. You could just nose hit that yellow for now, too. And you've got red onto yellow for the next one, and I don't know how she does anything about that. Going to play the slash now. Want to hit the yellow on the broom side, catch that red going by. The red goes into the yellow shot stone. The two yellows should go, although the one you're hitting first might come back and crash on the yellow at the back of the 8, pardon me. I don't think the top red goes very far. Looks to me like it's lined up to go dead into that yellow stone. So this could be a chance to sit 2. With shot rock buried behind 3 of them and in front of the tee line. Looking for probably a little less than half on the first one. She's close. Catches it, drives it across. Well, that came more across the top of that Yellowstone than I thought it would. Actually, the raised stone pops out into the open. It is Kaitlyn Law sitting 3. But there is room for Myla Plett to play the draw. She's got room with the way these curl here. She can come around the stone at the top of the 8-foot, get into the full 4 and be shot rock in front of the tee line. That would give her a chance for 2. If she had to come right down to the back one, Kaitlyn Laws would follow it down and might not have a shot to score. Brushers picked this one up early. Looks to have nice line. Should start to curl about there. Still has lots of room by the guard. And plenty of weight. This is going to come to the tee line anyway, a little bit back of tee. That's definitely deeper than she would have liked. Kaitlyn stood back to take a look whether or not she thinks she could throw enough weight to move it. It's not necessary, but I think she was looking at it. You can get to the face or just a sliver to the inside. Yeah, if you get to a sliver to the inside, I'm not sure how Myla Plett scores. You want to freeze this right on the face, but if anything, a sliver to the center line side, even right on the nose, you'd be shot rock. Good draw here. She'll be splitting the center line and a good piece of the button. Get a bit of an idea from the brushers as soon as she lets go. Just one brush down and just cleaning. So they're waiting for the line. Still just cleaning. Still looks like it needs to curl. They switch to the offside sweep now to try to get a little extra curl. Comes down to the nose, just nudges it back a little bit. Laws has shot rock. Probably just enough room now because she's got room to bump it a little. She can come down with draw weight, try to get to the inside. She'll have to move it a little bit. I don't think she can get far enough inside to make the cold draw. Just needs back button weight, even T-line out of her hand and let them sweep it to the bump. The line here very important as well. If you don't get to the inside of that rock, it just jams on the yellow and it's going to be a steal of one. So final stone of the fifth end for Myla Plett. Needs to come down and get to the inside of the stone Kaitlyn Laws just delivered. Nudge it back a few inches to pick up her single point. Boy, they're going to get it by the guard. She's got it by the guard, though. She's got a beauty. Just going to rub it. Will come down, make contact with that red stone, but just pushes it further into the button area. Steal of one. Kaitlyn Laws now opening up a 2-point lead. It's 4-2 after 5 ends of play. Plett will have last rock when we come back for the sixth.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Okay, with it, Will. What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Four to two, Kaitlyn Laws leads Myla Plett as we get in the sixth end here after the steal in 5. Shawn, Joyce with you here live from the Saville Shootout in the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton. Want to thank those of you who've been watching all of the action here on Curling Stadium Edmonton all weekend long. Still a lot of action left to come. Playoff for both the men's and women's starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Still a little action left tonight to determine who will be the 8 teams on the women's side making those playoffs. With the 2-point lead beginning the sixth end, Kaitlyn Laws brought the first stone into the rings. Kristen McEwish now being asked to guard it. Might be sliding this into the rings. That's fine too. They just don't want to freeze it. Did just bite the top of the 12. Aliescu through the corner guard with her first, but with that one biting the rings, she can actually make a play on it. The call was for the hit and roll. Now, if you hit and roll, you might be in the rings, but you also might be behind your corner guard. If you hit it right on the nose, you could make the double and leave your shooter in the free guard zone too. So there's a few ways to play this. Or you could get caught right in the middle and jam it. Does leave her own stone in the free guard zone, but it's also protecting shot rock right now. So Jocelyn Peterman will be asked to throw a longer guard. Guard the yellow so she can't run it into your shot rock. That was the fifth rock of the end, so she can start making a play on the guards now, looking to run the yellow, or pardon me, the red across the top of the yellow, and maybe run it back into the rings. Could get everything off that center line area, and it's possible the shooter rolls over the corner guard. It's possible also that Yellowstone that you're running in could roll over behind the corner. Well, you can get three of your own on the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it now. Going to be just a little thin on the run. Jocelyn will look to replace the guard. Trying to get every last little bit of curl at the end to make sure they don't leave enough of that yellow to just play it directly. I think it does the job. Still going to leave that same peel attempt. Red over the face of the yellow. Yellow back into the rings. Chloe Fediak just missed it on her first attempt. Close here as well, just missed it that much on the other side this time. Still moves the two rocks closest to the center line. Changes the guard call. Have to come from the other side and trying to get the tighter one now, buried around the yellow. Elena Negevin in the hacks now. Just glancing around at the other scores as Selena gets ready here. Kate Cameron has won her game over Yunji Kim. And that will leave Kate Cameron with a record of 3-2. So she's now one of the two lost teams that could be in the tiebreaker scenario. Looking for the guard here, so they're sweeping for the curl. This has got to move. had to get a piece of it buried under the yellow, so they had to go for line. Ends up corner frozen to her own. It's not a horrible result. It does force another run back attempt, and it's a long run back now. Doesn't quite come up enough for her. She'll peel the guard, but drives it by the two stones at the top of the house. Kaitlyn Laws continues to hit it 2. And will continue to guard. Asking Selena if she's got a preference on which turn she'd like to play. They've seen it from both sides. Carrie Anderson has defeated Selena Sturmey. That will leave Anderson at 3-2 and drops Sturmey to 3-2. The logjam is getting bigger. Been cleaning this all the way down. Now looks like both brushes on and swinging around to the curl side. Well, protects the side she has to so that she can't really make the double. If you want to try to get all 3 reds, you'd have to hit it on the nose, leave her a guard. I think Myla looking at, do we just come right around everything? Getting to that point in the end, isn't it? If we're going to get forced, we may as well get forced to 2. Alyssa Edwin looking to come around those 2 stones at the top of the 8-foot. Pressure's really going to have to work this for line. Oh, they get it by. Had to do everything they could to get it by. It does slide a little bit deep, but stays for shot rock, just nibbling the back of the 4-foot. Kaitlyn Laws will look to follow it down. Ideally, you'd love to stay at the top of the button behind cover, but not a lot of room coming by those 2 to bury in front of the tee line. And as long as she comes to the back one, she really shrinks the house. Just skip stones left to come here in the 6th. Kaitlyn Laws with her first. Playing the in-turn draw, looking to come around those 2 stones at the top of the 8-foot. Rushers just cleaning early, waiting for that line call. You know, they start to move just outside the hog line. This might be a little strong. Sweeping for some curl now. Comes down, will touch off that Yellowstone, but stays pretty close to right there. Does the job. Had that bounced off. Myla Plett might have had a decision to make. I think you still have to try to get one in front of the tee line on this first attempt. Well, neither of the last two draws have been particularly close to those two red stones at the top of the 8-foot. Mind you, they've also both been back 4. If you get the weight right here, actually, I guess the last one they had to sweep it to get by it. If I remember right, the last one for the Plett team. So can they find the line and the weight so that you don't have to pound it to the back of the 4-foot here? Does look like there's enough curl there if you skinny those two at the top of the 8-foot. This has got a lot more room. And heavy again. It's going to touch the red stone. Hard to tell from here who's got shot rock. This is where you kind of wish the players would point for you. Kaitlyn could try to follow it down, play another draw, maybe set up for the steal that way. Her other option, she hits that Yellowstone anywhere on the outside. Both yellows go. She'd lose her shooter, and it forces Myla Plett to make the same draw attempt. And it would only be for a single if she makes it. Looking at the hit on the yellow and the inside roll, that could actually even shrink the rings a little further. Looks like she's got room to make that. She could see some air in between the yellow and those two reds at the top of the 8-foot. And as Kaitlyn makes her way down to the hack, Selena taking another look, trying to determine who's got shot rock. Shouldn't matter as long as you make this shot. Doesn't really matter which one of them shot right now. So looking to come down just across the face of the yellow, make the hit, have the shooter come across, touch the face of the red stone, and come up a little bit in the 4-foot and behind cover. Might even be able to grab a piece of the back of the button. This is really going to have to curl to get anything to the inside. Sweeping for the curl now. She'll get the hit, stays right there. She does sit 2. Leaves room for Myla Plett to get to the inside. Nose hit. She looks like she's playing the Tego here. Nose hit would get her the single. Sliver to the inside would be okay too. The only thing she can't do, if she's anything on the outside, the second red jams on the yellow and it won't go anywhere, and she won't have very far to roll to the outside. So final stone here for Myla Plett in the 6th end. Facing 2, looking for the nose hit to pick up her single. Boy, this is going to have to curl. It's trying. It's got to get to the nose. Gets the hit, catches the red at the back. Does stay enough in that 4-foot. Piece of the button. She will pick up her single. Kaitlyn Laws with a 4-3 lead over Myla Plett after 6 ends of play. It'll be Laws with Last Rock in the 7th when we come back.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Seventh end just underway here from the Saville Shootout. Final draw of round robin action for the women. Kaitlyn Laws, Myla Plett looking for a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. Loser still might be in the playoffs. Could go to a tiebreaker scenario. Laws with a 1-point lead as we begin play here in the 7th and last rock. The center guard thrown up just a few inches off the center line, so it is not in the no-tick zone. Come around. I think we're trying to come down to that red one. Ends up with another center guard. That's not a horrible result for Plett here. She can't have a blank end and may want to play a little bit aggressively. Gets a steal. She's tied up. Coming home. As long as she gets a force, she's got the hammer. Doesn't want to give up two. Doesn't want to give up the blank. Well, that draw coming all the way to the back 12, just hanging on. That's got a couple of options here. Play the come around. I'm a little surprised they aren't looking at yeah. Come around from either side, I guess, works. I don't think the coach is liking the way they're coming at this, so he's called the timeout. We'll make their way down and take a look at these rocks. It's the overlap on the guards means that the double peel is going to be pretty easy when Kaitlyn decides to take it on. You could throw another guard here. You could split the tighter guard just so that as much as you like having extra guards, you could split it just so she doesn't have such an easy double. You bury one here. I think she's playing the double peel, and then you're playing the whole end without a guard trying to steal or get the force. It's not looking good. So they have elected to throw the guard. Really, you have to guard the higher of the two yellow ones now. That's the one she can play to make the double. And you're going to want this fairly long because there's no reason why she won't play the triple if you get them too close together. Chloe Fediuk looking to play the guard. Just had to work a little bit just to make sure it was across. Gets it to a good spot. Kaitlyn Law's just going to play the single peel. I thought there might be enough angle there. She might take a pass at getting all three of them. She's content to just hit the long guard for now. Probably helps that she's got shot rock back there. You know they can't throw guards forever. Have to think they'll probably throw two more at least. Chloe made her last guard very nicely. It's so hard to throw them that high, but she got enough separation. Kaitlyn Laws didn't even think about trying the triple. This one looks like it might have a little bit more weight. Still sliding. I think still just looking to straight peel the high guard. And Kaitlyn may be fine just peeling one guard at a time for the rest of the end, knowing that eventually Myla Plett has to do something in the forefoot. I think you're throwing at least one more guard, and it might be two. Alyssa Nedowin. Nothing out of the brushers so far. This one's got more line. Curling now, but needs to dig in. Safest way to make the double peel now, come from the other side. or pardon me, just the straight peel. She's not looking at the double or the triple. She's content to leave those 2 yellows on top of her own shot rock. Selena Negev with the peel, and the shooter rolls to cover the edge of the 12 foot. It does stay in play. Out of the way though, leaves room for the draw to the button as well. Looking for the guard one more time. Have to think Kaitlyn will peel it one more time. Then Myla Plett might have a decision to make. You could throw the guard one more time and just trust that you're going to be able to make the draw with your last one and try to set up the steal. And this timeout call might have come from the bench. Connor Negev knowing that if you peel one more, then you leave it to Myla Plett to decide how she wants to play this. Not to say necessarily he's going to try to talk them out of this shot. Just make sure they talk through all the options right now, because you peel this guard, Myla Plett really has 2 shots on her next one. She could throw one more guard, trusting that she can make the draw on her last one, or she could come around now, you double peel, and she's going to make a shot where she's either getting a force or a steal. It's only going to be 1 point on the board either way, and she's happy with that. I don't think you'd ever talk about drawing here. You could peel the tighter guard. There's a little bit of danger with that. But that's the one she's going to try to bury around later on. You peel it right now. She's going to try to freeze to yours. You'd still be shot rock. This is game number 11 for me on the weekend, and this has been a long one tonight, so I can't remember for sure, but I think we might be out of timeouts as well. Looks like what they've decided is to peel the tighter one. And this is the one that she can draw around to try to steal the point. Yes, she can try to freeze the red one on her next attempt, but she can't be shot rock with that freeze. I like this more than peeling the long one, just because you leave all the decisions for Myla Plett. Then she gets to make the decision when you go. This has got to hold, though. Doesn't want to clip her own. Does. Drives it by the stone at the back. Well, it does give her a chance to come around cold. You'll have the button available always to get your single point. So there's that saver. Just means it's going to be a little harder. You'd like to keep the threat of a deuce alive. Had you driven that by, you could have kept the threat of a deuce alive, which may change the thinking for the Plett team. Now I think you have to play the come around. You play it from either turn, whichever one you think you know. Has to bury this. You'd like to be in front of the tee line. Asking for just a little bit more ice before she settles into the hacks. Skip stones left to come here in the 7th end. Myla Plett trailing by 1, looking for the come around. See if she can't set up a steal here in 7, tie things up. A lot of room early. Should start to move as it crosses that hog line. Still got a lot of room by the guard. Now really starting to move. Rushing for curl here. They might have to bring this behind the tee line to get it buried. Just doesn't have the legs. They had to wait too long for that to start curling. Stays just fully in the open. Kaitlyn Law is looking at it. I think the indication was just hit this right on the nose. That's a good call. You try to roll this underneath. If you roll half under, Myla Plett plays the other turn, comes around everything, including the one you're about to deliver. And you won't have a way to get at it. If you hit right on the nose, she's probably still playing the draw on the in-turn side. And you may have a shot off your own here to get at it. You might even be able to roll just a sliver to the broom side. You don't want to clip your own at the back, though. You'd like to keep that one just biting because that's the one that may go on as the deuce. May go on the board. Actually hits it just a sliver on the inside, rolls a corner of her rock in behind the guard, enough that Myla Plett couldn't attempt the hit and roll. And it makes it easier as she comes around. The angle's going to be pretty good for the red slash onto anything she could get in for shot rock. You might be able to come down to that red stone with enough weight to just tap it back and get to the inside and roll behind cover. Dangerous if you don't get it out and you don't get buried. Could be 3. Tough to play the straight draw here, though. If you get shot rock in behind cover, where Kaitlyn Law has just left her shooter, she's going to have a short angle run. You could maybe try to get all the way to the back 4 foot behind the redstone. Play it with the in-turn. That's what they're looking at now, I think. That might be your safest bet. The corner of that redstone is under cover, so if you can get close to behind the red one, she can't hit it thick enough to play the run. Have to be shot rock, though. Not playing to a big area here. The final stone of the 7th end for Myla Plett. Down 1, facing 2. Needing a draw to the back 4 to try to set up the steal. Both brushers down early, but looks to be just a firm clean. Starting to curl now. She can afford to be tight by the guard. She's got to get all the way behind that redstone if she can. Third sweeper coming out to help. This might be a little on the light side. It'll come into the 12-foot. It does sit second shot, but Kaitlyn Law's already shot. Just looking at what pass she wants to throw the draw. Going to play the outturn. She can come right down to her own shot stone. It would be for 2 and would give her a 3-point lead coming home. This is a huge extra point here. It's one thing to have to generate a deuce coming home for the tie. It's a whole other ball game if you need 3. Still not impossible, but deuces happen all the time. 3s are a little bit more rare. Final stone, 7th end, Kaitlyn Laws. Needs full 12-foot for the second point. One brush down right away just to clean it. Still just cleaning. It's got a nice line. Kaitlyn Laws will come down, just touch off her own stone. It's 2 points here for Kaitlyn Laws. She's got a 6-3 lead now after 7 ends of play. You're watching the Saville Shootout. We've got the final draw of the women's round robin on Curling Stadium, Edmonton, from the Saville Community Sports Center. 8th end right after this.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Shawn, Joyce with you here live for the 8th and possibly final end of this matchup between Kaitlyn Laws and Myla Plett. Plett probably hoping it's not the final end. It's going to be a tough task here. She needs 3 points in the 10th to throw it to an extra. I would expect she's going to throw a couple of corner guards here. Ali Iscu throwing the intern for the first one. Looks like they're playing it very high. So I would expect the way this team approaches the double corner situation is they're going to throw the next one tight on the same side. Kaitlyn Laws will just keep piling rocks into the middle until she's able to start making peels on the guards. You put these rocks in the middle just to force Myla Plett to have to deal with them at some point in the end. You know she's not going to do it right away, but when she does, may have to leave some kind of a double. Kristen McHughish with her first stone right to the top of the button, and her second one comes down and just from the face of it moves it back a couple of inches. That's a nice pair for Kristen. Left room for them to throw another one on the top of the 8 foot as well. You know this is coming as a corner guard. The leads have done their job here in the 8th end. Just the 5th rock of the end now, so can't pick a play on the guards just yet. Talked about coming into the top of the 8 foot. She could guard these as well. Again, it's still, though, all about making Myla Plett make a play on these walks in the middle at some point. And when she does, you're hoping there's a double. A lot of room here, so they're sweeping for curl. They called it as a tight guard, but in the house is fine. That was one of the options they considered, was to be right into the 8 foot. That might have those 3 rocks a little closer together than I would have liked. I could come down now and just jiggle them around and start to set up a wall. The back two are going to split a little bit, and you can leave a wall of red stones behind the tee line. That does not look like a lot of ice. I would not be playing this with any kind of takeout weight. Nose hit with like backline weight here. Your shooter stays in front of the red, and the other 2 reds end up behind the tee line. Just over curled a bit on her, but pretty good result. Kaitlyn can see a piece of the tighter guard, so they're going to go after that directly. Jocelyn Peterman looking for the peel. Good patience here from Plett. Going to try to replace that guard. You'd like to get it over about 4 or 5 more inches just so she can't peel it directly. Let her peel the high one. If you had to come around the high one, hard to get a rock in a position where she could make a play on it with that much separation. This looks like it's going to have better line. I'm just going to look to straight peel the long corner guard. I don't know if anybody can remember better than me. I think we're out of timeouts. Myla Plett might have a decision to make on her next one. We're on to thirds first stones here. The shot I'm looking at, it's tough, but it's a great result if you can make it, is come down, heavy draw, split the red that's cornered behind your yellow. So you move it over to the left as we're looking at it and have your shooter come in towards the corner guard. And then you get those 3 reds all behind the yellow at the top of the 8 foot. Hard to make it go away. Like, Kaitlyn Laws isn't going to play it anytime soon, but right now, if she blasted the yellow on the nose, it still goes, and she doesn't care how many reds she loses. Going to play the straight draw around the corner. It's not bad, but you know that Kaitlyn's going to peel that guard. Not going to get by, just rubs. And comes to the corner of her own yellow, and now a nose hit on the yellow probably gets both of the yellows out of the rings. The only thing that Kaitlyn might be worried about a little bit is she could push the red stone back behind the tee line, but I think we're getting late enough in the end that doesn't matter. Kill both of these stones, both of these yellow stones, and Myla Plett needs to count all three of the ones she's got left. So even if you tap this back and make a pocket, you can jam it on the next one, as long as you create an escape route for it to hit it on your last one. 2 chances to kill one rook if you make the double here. Selena Negavan looking for the double on the 2 yellow stones, top of the 8-foot. It's one, catches the second. Didn't really move that red stone at all. Myla Plett doesn't have a lot left. She's got to count all 3 of these stones. So probably, I think she's looking at the right shot here. The best shot she's got left. Freeze the top one. If Kaitlyn Laws tries to blast it, you're hoping she squirts it in behind the corner guard. Eventually, if you're going to count a stone like this, you got to move all 3 of the reds. So if you can convince Kaitlyn Laws to do it for you, that's one way to go about it. The other thing is, if that doesn't happen, you have to line them up to be able to get a double. You just can't go around the corner guard here. You'll never be able to get rid of the 3 in the middle. Needs to hold the line. She doesn't want to cross this. She would have liked it frozen maybe that much on the other side of center so that it would be an angle to go behind the corner. Kaitlyn Laws can make this go away. She will run Myla Plett out of rocks and pick up the win, move herself to 4-1. That would put her through to the playoffs tomorrow morning. Myla Plett would have to look over her shoulder and see how the tiebreakers work out. It's possible she could be in those playoffs as well. Kaitlyn Laws, chance to run Myla Plett out of rocks, just needs to make this yellow go away. Makes the hit, does remove it from play. Her shooter rolls to the side. And that gives Kaitlyn Laws the 6-3 win over Myla Plett here in the final game of the round robin for these 2 teams. Laws improves to 4-1, and that should put her through to the playoffs. Myla Plett drops to 3-2, and she'll have to wait to see how the tiebreaker scenarios work out. Still a few games going on. You can catch all the action on the Curling Stadium Edmonton. Go direct to the YouTube channel or link from the curlingzone.com website. That concludes the round robin portion for these teams. All of the teams finishing up their round robin within the next few minutes, and then we'll have the playoffs for you tomorrow morning. Both men's and women action at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.